Action News is next on TV2 Atlanta.
Good evening, I'm Monica Kaufman.
And I'm Jim Wilkerson. Flash floods seem to be less threatening in the North Georgia mountains tonight.
There was heavy shelling in Beirut, killing 75 people last night.
And thousands of mourners view Pope Paul for the last time.
This is Action News with Monica Kaufman and Jim Wilkerson. Jim Biondi with sports and Johnny Beckman with the weather.
Well, here in Atlanta, it's one of those nights that from the inside looking out can make you feel like late October. It's just wet and drizzly, your typical rainy night in Georgia. Our Action News crew checked some of the local streams, and there are no problems that we could find anyway. Peachtree Creek is way below flood stage, and the same is true elsewhere in the metro area. One good thing about the rain, besides the fact that we certainly needed it, when it tapered off for a while this evening, it provided us with a very pretty picture of the city's skyline. And Johnny Beckman is here now to tell us, is this water going to stick around a while, or are we home free, or what?
I think we're doing rather well right now. The flash flood watch for North Georgia expired at 10 o'clock tonight, and on color action radar right now, we still have a little bit of activity lingering in the northern sections of the state, but it has become very widely scattered. The upper air disturbance in the frontal system across the state, which was responsible for triggering the heavy rainfall, seems to be weakening considerably. So it looks like we're out of danger at the present time. Could be some brief periods of heavy rain off and on through thunder showers from tonight through tomorrow afternoon, but it looks like the flash flood watch is over with, and goodbye and good riddance.
Well, a state park in North Georgia is still closed in the wake of a threatened dam break. Vacationers at the park west of Dawsonville were evacuated from their cabins, and the park was closed.
The cabins are a half-mile below. Officials say they were in no real danger of being washed away, but the dam at Amicalola Falls is on the state's high-hazard list.
Amicalola Falls tumbles nearly 800 feet before its waters touch the ground below. That's where the cottages are. Vacationers were ordered to evacuate them when waters of a 9.5-acre lake far above began rising. 6 inches of rain pushed the level up to 25 feet, a lot higher than usual. Its waters are held back by an earthen dam built about 40 years ago. It was inspected last November and said to be weak. That's why no chances were taken when the level of the lake began to rise. Early morning was the most crucial point, but the rain slacked off, and by midday the level had dropped at least 4 feet. That doesn't mean, though, that the danger is over.
And it looks like that we won't have any problems unless we get another 6 or more inches of rain.
What happens then?
Well, we could possibly lose the dam if we get that kind of rainfall.
The park has been closed all day. Just when it reopens is up to the weather. At Amicalola Falls, this is Terry Casey, Action News.
Well, Monica, there have been plenty of wet places all over the country today, one of which is certainly Graham, Texas. In fact, as you can see in just a minute, Graham is having plenty of problems. This is how Graham looked this morning as water from Salt Creek off the Brazos River raised about a foot an hour. The only bright spot in all of this mess was that residents did get ample warning, and most of the town's most valued possessions were moved to high water in time. Some people, though, weren't listening to radio and television, and they got hit pretty hard. But because the water was so slow moving, there were no fatalities and no injuries, just one big sloppy mess.
Well, the Gulf Coast of Mexico got sideswiped by Tropical Storm Bess this afternoon. The Central Coast area was hit by 50-mile-an-hour winds and heavy rains. We have no reports on damage or injuries. Hurricane forecasters are also watching 2 other tropical depressions in the Atlantic, but it's too early to tell just how they'll develop.
Legionnaire's disease has hit Atlanta and taken 1 life. That was confirmed today by the head of the Fulton County Health Department, Dr. William Elsey. Elsey says 5 cases in all struck in the same area of southwest Atlanta last month. It wasn't until very recently that researchers at the Center for Disease Control were able to determine that the respiratory illness was Legionnaire's disease. Health officials say there is no reason for anyone in southwest Atlanta to be worried. They don't expect any more cases of this disease to be discovered. Well, plans for a prison development in DeKalb County go over like a lead balloon. That's next as Action News continues.